Good morning, everybody. It's Jeff Blankenburg, and you're on my channel. And it's a nice day. I've got sunlight shining outside. I've got a whole bunch of new stuff that I want to talk to you here on the channel about, and I've got some cool things that I want to work on today. So it feels like a good Monday. It feels like we're in a good place. This beard is still coming in. The hair is getting too long. It's a little tufty here on top now. I don't know what we're going to do about that, but we'll live with it for today. It's no Bob Ross wig, that's for sure. But we will eventually get to a point where this is just absolutely out of control. Let's see if I can get the chat working. It doesn't appear. There we go. I wasn't able to see the chat there for a second, but good morning, TradeLast. Thank you for being here. So, TradeLast, as the first one to comment today, I would like to give you the opportunity to try this. I built a chatbot, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and how I think I might use that for some other applications as well. But I built a chatbot that works here on my Twitch channel, and one of the things that I had mentioned probably a week ago was how cool it would be if you guys could use this chat to do other stuff, maybe to interact with my environment or other things like that. And so I did that. So TradeLast, give me an opportunity here. Type the name of a color. See how this goes. Boom. That is so cool. So yeah, I built a chatbot that takes advantage of the exact same stuff that we're using on the Alexa skill. Now, what's cool about this is that you don't just have to type the name of the color, although I'm sure a lot of you will, but you can also say things like, here, I'll send a chat message. If I say, Jeff just changed it to pink, so I'll do Superman's cape is red. And there we go, it turns red. So it finds the words anywhere in your statement, and if you mention a color in any way, it definitely works. Yeah, I definitely will know, but I'm sure people will still do it with their voices. But I thought this might be a fun way for you guys to interact with the chat. So one of the things that I want to know is, like, what else should I do here? There was the default functionality that came with this chatbot that I used as a template was a dice roller. And so you could hit exclamation dice. It doesn't work anymore. I disabled it. But you could hit exclamation dice as a command, and then it would give you a random dice roll of a 20-sided die. And I thought about how I might be able to use things like that. And then it got me down a path of, well, what else could I do? What else could I create or change about the Twitch channel and this chatbot to make it so that you guys can have some cool interactive fun? So one of the things that I think I'm going to do, and I'll have to figure out how to pull this off, is to somehow do sound effects. So if you guys type a specific command, a sound effect will play. I don't know how distracting that will be. It might not be distracting to me, because maybe I'll set it up so that I don't hear it, but it just broadcasts on the channel. But I thought that might be interesting, is for you guys to be able to say, like, ba-dumts or something like that, like type that out, and then boom, all of a sudden, sad trombone would be another good one. But so I have thoughts on that, but I have to figure out how to get that audio fed into the feed. Because the chatbot that I'm using, and I can show you guys how I did this here. Let's go to the everything view. And this is on a website called Glitch, which if you haven't used before, is kind of like build your own free Lambda function, is more or less how it works. And let's see if I can blow that up a little bit. And so all I'm doing in here is I'm using their, I'm guessing TMI is the Twitch management interface or something like that. But I had to authorize against a Twitch channel. And what's actually kind of cool about this is that I can build my own bot. You also notice that Jeff Blankenbot is replying to you guys. So I created a separate account that is just Jeff Blankenbot, and he's the one that's replying to you in all of these things. But I feel like I could build a chatbot against anybody's channel, and then it would just chime in. So there was nothing I had to do to allow this bot to participate in my channel. It's just another user basically. But this software is using my authorization, my OAuth connection against Twitch. And so all I do is I have some very simple, if the command includes the word red, then you say change the lamp to red, and then I have a function that changes the lamp color. So it's relatively straightforward and primitive, right? There's nothing very complex about this. I'm not doing rich NLU or anything like that. This is pretty basic. But I feel like if I define a bunch of commands like sad trombone, and I don't know how I would do that yet. But when I figure it out, I will definitely do that. I mean, I could probably the simple solution is for me to just play it from my laptop. But even then, I don't know how I get an audio file to do that. And then TradeLast also called out that the Jeff Blankenbot has a cool Funko avatar. Yeah, that's actually, so you can make your own Funko character if you just go to funko.com. In fact, I'll show you that too. I thought that was a cool bot icon. And so if you come in here and you log in, you can do pop yourself. And in here, this is the icon that I used, but you can create pop figures for your friends and family or whatever. I don't know how many you can make. I think it might just be 4. And so this is my colleague Paul Cutzinger. This is Amit Jatwani, and this is Memo Doring. I made these quite a while ago, but I thought those were kind of fun to play with. And so you have lots of control, and you can change it, whatever, make your own. So that's kind of fun. But I also have restructured the points for this stuff as well. And so you'll notice down at the bottom, you know those channel points you earned? You can see that down at the bottom now, those are rebranded. They are also that little Funko icon. And they're called Blanken points now, because why not, right? So those are a few of the changes that I made over the weekend. But you'll also notice in my chat, you can see where I wrote Superman's cape is red. Do you see how I have the little 6 box next to my name? Now, I'm not expecting any of you to do this, so don't feel as if you need to do this. But they do a whole bunch of interesting things with subscribers here on Twitch. If you actually subscribe to someone's channel, which costs money, so that's why I'm not asking you to do it. But for the duration of your subscription, it will show a number. It will now show an icon for the number of months that you've been subscribed, which I thought was kind of cool. I also found out that I have Amazon Prime, and by having your Amazon account connected to your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime, and Twitch Prime allows you to basically have one free subscription to a Twitch channel every month. And so I went out and supported a friend of mine as a subscriber. I thought that was kind of cool, and it made me think what else I could do here. The path that I was really heading down was to be able to figure out how to do custom emoticons. So you guys have seen, if I come over here, like these emotes that you have access to down here. Some of you use them from time to time. There's a way for me to create custom ones, but it looks like it's only possible to create them for subscribers, which was kind of annoying to me because I didn't really want people to subscribe. But then when I found out that people can basically do a free subscription using Twitch Prime, that made me feel a little less guilty about it, because I'm not asking anyone to give me money. Good morning, Lily Hazel. Thank you for being here. And you think you can use Blankenbucks to unlock them too. That may be the case. So I haven't created them yet, Jeff Nunn, but I figured one of them would probably be the Jeff Blankenburg Bob Ross. It's unlock a random one. So you wouldn't get to pick which one, but you could unlock one. I think that's probably what that is. So I need to create those icons. But I thought there might be one that's the Alexa logo, one that's maybe me with the horns, the icon that you see up here, like this thing. Maybe that would be a good one, and then maybe me as Bob Ross. Anyway, I'm playing with these ideas and thinking about how this would actually work, but That's something else that I'm working on for the channel. So Lily, thank you for joining Startup. I have an answer to your question as well. But just so you guys know, if you want to change the color of my lamp, you can now do it by just typing the name of the color directly into the chat. So Lily Hazel, if you want to change the light to green or something, very easy to do. Just type a sentence or just the word green, or a sentence that has the word green in it, for example. But you can use any of the primary colors of the rainbow, as well as pink. Yeah, there you go. So Lily Hazel's got it, and boom, you've got a green light behind me. So there you go. You've done it. So that's a fun little addition I added over the weekend because I was stuck in a place where I had literally nothing else to do, right? I can only do home improvement and chores and cook meals and do all that kind of stuff so much before finally you're just like, I want to play with some technology. And so that was one of the things that I came up with. So Jeff Nunn, I will work on those emotes for Wednesday. I'll have those ready for Wednesday because you have to create the image and then you also have to create it in several different sizes, and I don't want to do that here on stream. That seems kind of boring to watch, but we will, well, what do you guys think? Should I do that here? Create some icons, or should I just have those available next Wednesday? Because I can have them ready in about 10 minutes probably, but I don't want to bore you guys if that's not something you want to see. I'd rather get back to building for Alexa stuff if we can do that. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any opinions on that. And then, is there anything else I've done? Oh, so Startup, I was going to answer your question. How intelligent is this bot? Is there any topic, any context? No, but this has led me to an interesting thought. And Jeff Nunn, I'd love your thoughts on this as well, because you weren't here when I first built this thing. So a while back, probably in my first year here, I thought it would be cool to build a skill called Alexa Dev Tips. And the whole point of the skill was to be able to answer most of your common questions about Alexa development. So like, how do I connect to a database? Or where's the SDK? Or tell me about AWS credits or whatever. And I built it, but it was not well maintained. And I built it before I had really discovered Airtable, which made it, which would have made it much easier to manage. And I think I need to revisit that skill because as Jeff Nunn and I learned last week, there are a lot of common questions that people ask, and it would be nice to be able to have a database of those answers. We did that when we were moderating for Karthik's stream, which was every week last week right before this one. Every day last week. And so Jeff created a really good starter list of a bunch of links and a bunch of information that we had available to us, and we could copy and paste the answers out of those directly to the chat so that people could learn from that stuff. And it made me realize that I should probably revisit that, build it on top of Airtable, and then hand it off to my entire team so as they encounter things, as they run into things that people might want to say or learn from, the Alexa skill can do it. And then that took me a step further, and I thought, man, like this chatbot that I built, if we come back here, this is just Node, and it wouldn't be very hard for me to build. Yeah, I brought in the HTTP library. I don't know about other things, but it seems like, yes, Jeff, it looks like I could bring any libraries I want. I was able to update my package JSON, so in here I added this HTTPS. So I would think I could do exactly the same thing for Airtable. But what this would also provide then is a place where people could come to our Amazon Alexa Twitch channel and ask the chat a question, even in the middle of the night or whenever, and get an answer. Because we could build the same mechanisms. Now, it wouldn't be as accurate, right? We'd have to build our own natural language understanding, and we'd probably lean on a rich set of synonyms or something like that to do the matching. But I feel like there's an opportunity here. Yeah, so Jeff, yeah, I feel like we should put our heads together on how we could do this, because we could build a pretty robust database, and I have a starter on it, but we could build a pretty robust database of answers for people, links to follow, and in the chat bot, at least, we could provide them a URL. So in the chat, we could be like, oh, you want to go here, and they just click on the link and they're there, right? And it would be the curated, planned answer rather than hoping they find the right answer on Google or something like that. So Jeff, you and I, if you have an opportunity, send me a meeting invite if you're interested. I think that you and I could put something pretty cool like this together and make it available not only on Alexa, but also on the chat for the Amazon Alexa Twitch channel, which I think would be a really cool feature and might make it so that more people want to stop by, tune in, even if there's not a show broadcasting. Might be an opportunity for people to use it on the regular. So that leads me to one more thing that I did this weekend, because why not? And that is, if you guys will recall, I have been flipping over to, when I want to show an Alexa device, I have a little camera set up here in my office. It's actually, I can show you this because I'm not using it anymore. And I'll explain why in a second. But I have this little camera sitting on a tripod right in front of me. And then I had, I can't, let me see if I can just unplug it. I had an Echo Show 5 sitting in front of that, and that is how I communicated and talked to a device and showed it on screen. But it always felt a little janky to me because there was always a glare and the camera was never in focus. And so I did another thing, because I love you guys and I love being able to share what I'm working on and share how things work. And so now I have this view. And I have this beautiful remote. This solves two problems. One, I can do things like this. Open scavenger hunt.
Undefined, what is your answer?
Stop.
Goodbye.
I have an Alexa device, a raw feed coming from a Fire TV stick directly into the stream. So we can use that as much as we want to be able to show APL and a number of other things. Let me see if I open TKO Trivia, or we'll try the Star Wars skill. Ask unofficial Star Wars databank about Chewbacca.
You asked me about Chewbacca. Legendary Wookiee warrior and Han Solo's co-pilot aboard the Millennium Falcon.
So what I'm seeing is
Chewbacca was part of a core group of rebels who restored freedom to the galaxy. Known for his short temper and accuracy with Bo-Kester, Chewie also has a big heart and is unwavering in his loyalty to his friends. He has stuck with Han through years of turmoil that have changed both the galaxy and alliance. What else can I provide information about?
Basically strip the DRM? Now, the reason that stuff is on there is so that when I'm at home, that I'm not live streaming TV shows and videos and stuff that I shouldn't be. And so I won't be doing that stuff. But yes, I have a Fire TV stick that's plugged directly into my computer, more or less. I'm plugged indirectly into my computer is probably the right way to say that. But so now we have a really nice high-res feed of a Fire TV stick coming directly into my stream. So we can use this however we'd like, just like an Alexa device. So this will be fun to play with as we go forward. That is the one. Now keep in mind, you can't, there's a number of other things, and let me flip back to here and I'll show you what I'm doing. So there's two pieces to this. Jeff, I will tell you though that most of the stuff that I did this weekend did not take nearly as much time as I thought it might. W. Giorgio, thank you for being here. Startup asks, is that the Fire TV Stick 4K streaming device with Alexa built in? Yes, it is. W. Giorgio, if you don't know, I have, if I lean, I'll go all the way this way. You know about the light. You can now change the color of the light by just typing the colors directly into chat. So if you want to give that a try, feel free. But it is working. I built a chatbot to handle that. There's a few pieces to this startup, more than so I'm going to show the Fire Stick first. Tradelast, I'm also on Eero and I love it, man. It's fast and reliable and awesome. I'm a big fan of Eero. So yeah, so this is the Fire TV Stick that I'm using, and you can see this is the remote that I have for it. So I'm using just the standard Fire TV Stick. There's nothing special about it, nothing rooted. I'm using just the stock device. Good morning, LJ. Thank you for being here. But there's two other pieces that go into this. The first is an Elgato capture card. So I have a separate PC that is running all of the stuff that's going into my computer, and it's not the 4K one, it's the other one. Why don't I see that? No, it's 4K also. Well, let's go to Elgato's website because they have it there. So I'm a big fan of Elgato's equipment for streaming, and I own at least one of most of their devices. So if you look at their capture stuff, the thing that I'm using is the HD60 Pro. It's not the 4K one. I have the 4K one also. That's what the camera's running through. No, not the camera. I'm sorry, my laptop. That's what my laptop is running through. The camera is running through the Camlink 4K, and then the Fire TV stick is running through the HD60 Pro. So this is not an inexpensive device. It's easily over $100. I don't actually know the price. Let's see if we can find it here quickly. Oh, it's currently out of stock. So I guess you could buy the 4K one, or you could go with a USB style one, which is some of these. These are just little devices that you set outside your computer, and they plug in via USB. But I really prefer the internal cards. They work better, I think. But the other piece to this, so that's the first piece, is I have the Fire TV stick. I have the Fire TV stick plugged into this capture card. And then I also have, if I go back to my orders, this just came this weekend. I can find this thing. And I'll provide a link to this so you guys can grab it. So I'll drop this in the chat for you. This is a box. It's basically an HDMI splitter. So I run one cable into one side, which you can see here. It's powered, of course, and then it splits out to two other sources. I don't care about the splitting functionality. What I care about is that it actually rips the DRM off of the Fire TV stick. Without this little box, which was, it's $15. Without this little box, the Fire TV stick will not work. Your computer will recognize that the content is DRM'd, and it will not show it. You'll just see a black screen. So I needed to use this little device in order to get past that, and so my computer can't look through this box to the Fire TV stick to see the DRM, thankfully. And so for $15, I was able to get around the stuff. So, Jeff Nunn, I'm glad I could shower you with some ideas today, and I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the additions to the stream, because this is a lot of fun to put together. This is something I need to share. Alexa Poly background mixing, Node.js. This works, but I'm having trouble with S3. My skill is the same. I'm having trouble connecting to the audio file URI. Interesting. Let's take a look at that. Oh yeah, you know what, Jeff? That's a really good starter question before I start digging into code. That's pretty cool, W. Giorgio. Did you see Jeff's question? Make sure that the S3 bucket is public. That oftentimes is the issue. But I'd be very interested to know if that's the issue that you're facing. I run into that all the time with this stuff. Okay. Is there other stuff that I wanted to talk about? I feel like I did so much this weekend to think about the stream and what we could do. Oh, and so Jeff Nunn said, yeah, let's do the icons now. And so let's do that. Hey, Karthik. Karthik is here. Karthik just missed a whole bunch of new updates and additions to this channel. So, yeah, W. Georgia, check the file. Make sure that the files are also. Although if the bucket is public, I thought that propagated down, but maybe not. So Karthik, we've added a bunch of features, but the easy simple one is that now you can change the color of the lamp by just typing into the chat. So if you haven't given that a try, you can. Here, I'll show you. I can do like this and just say white, and the chatbot will change it for me. Kind of nice. All right, so we're gonna do some Twitch stuff. And to do that, I need to go to my Twitch channel. Oh, Startup just did a thing that I was not thinking about. So let's fix my code. I just realized that I only really accommodated lowercase. To lower, let's add that. Dot to lower case. The other cool thing about glitch is that it autosaves, so we'll fix these really quick. There we go. So like I said, the code changes automatically with a quick save. I don't have to do any deployments or anything. But I somehow didn't even think about capitalization. So that's nice work, Startup. Thank you for finding my bug. And I fixed it. And so now the light is orange, you can see. Cool. I love when we just find bugs and fix them. And so now you guys are going to mess with the light all day. That's perfect. So let's come in here, and I'm going to go into this. I don't need to see this. And we're going to go to this creator dashboard. I don't need any of that. I need to go to when these menus load. Jeff, what should happen when you say Batman? All right, emotes. So I need to see what these need to be. So let's edit them. And okay, so I need 112, 56, and 28, and then we'll probably just make a big one and shrink them down. So I'm gonna open up my trusty Photoshop where I was making all of my other icons. Go away. And we'll create a new one. Yeah, we're gonna be all over the light, but that's fine. Oranges didn't work? Jeff has changed to oranges. Why wouldn't oranges work? If it includes orange, that should have worked. If I say oranges, mine worked. Interesting. I don't know why yours didn't work, Lord of Sound. Maybe it was too many commands at once. I don't know why that one didn't take, but that's okay. So 112 is what I want to create. Where did my Photoshop go? Okay. So we're going to create a new icon that is 112, 72 DPI, transparent background. All of that looks so great. And then the first one that I wanted to do was the Alexa logo. And so I have some of those here. If I go to my OneDrive and I dive into full mark color, yeah, I think I just fixed it. Thank you guys for the tests. So we're going to copy that and we're going to bring it into my new document. And we're going to resize it, which is transform scale, because it's much bigger than the little box that I get to put it in. And try to make it as big as I can. That looks pretty good. And then, so we'll save that as a PNG. Yes, Karthik, it definitely is. It will only pick up the first one, and it's going to base the order. It picks up characters anytime you. I thought that was more fun to do it that way. That your command is any place where you say a color. If you say red, white, and blue, it's going to base it on the order of my if statements. It'll only catch one. I haven't built any delays or anything to handle more situations. We're going to call this Alexa 112. And then I need... I don't know that I'm going to have a cult following, but that would be kind of fun. I'd love to have a few hundred of you here every day. I think that would be super cool. I like hanging out with those of you that do show up. I'm amazed that you guys keep coming back. So thank you for doing that. My next size is 56. I think they just keep having it. Image size is 56. And we'll save this as... It does not. Jeff Blankenbot does not listen to itself. So that's a specific command in the code. Right. If self return, so that I'm making sure that it does not listen to itself. Okay, this is Alexa 56. And then we got to go down to 28. And then we'll export that at 28. Okay, so that's my first emote. I think all I need to do now is say, here's the 28, and here's the 56, and here's the 112. Yeah, I have not done Hindi translation startup, but it's a wonderful try. I wonder if I could. I wonder if that would just work. Let's see. If I take your command here, copy that, and come in here and just say, you said that was green. So we'll do if this or this command name dot to. I don't even know if I want to do the 2 lowercase. Dot includes give that a try startup. Let's see. Try green in Hindi. I don't know if that works or not, but we'll see here in a minute. Nice. Cocktails guy, no, you're never late. Get here when you can get here. So Jeff Nunn, look at that, man. Now we can support multiple languages too. It worked, but it changed the light blue, so that's because the color is blue. So I actually want to take this and put it here, is what you're saying? Cocktails guy, we're in the middle of building in the middle of modifying a chatbot I built over the weekend. And if you say a color here in the chat, it changes the light bulb behind me. So we're playing with that and seeing how we could add Hindi commands to that as well. Since I have some wonderful friends in India that continue to show up for my streams. There you go. You got your pink. Cocktails guy. So that's where we're at. That's the thing that we've done. And so I've added the Hindi characters for blue, but I haven't done it. I have not done it for the other colors. I don't have the translations. So we'll have to work through that. But I think we can do that. This is not my code editor. This is a website called Glitch. This is actually a browser we're looking at. And I don't think I have the ability to change to a dark mode here. Let's see. No. I don't know that they have a dark mode option. No. Okay, so anyway, that's yeah, I just got into this glitch stuff. So I'll have to do that at some point. So we'll call that one that, and we have that new emote. I think that just did it. So now I have that new emote. Oh, do they have to get approved? That's interesting. I was hoping we could have these live on the thing here, but it looks like maybe they have to be approved in some way. Okay, so I'm gonna go to tier 2, and this one is gonna be the Bob Ross. So I need to find, and I'm sure you guys have this available to you. I need a good picture of me as Bob Ross. I think Twitter might have some of me. Notifications. Let's see. There was a lot of Twitter conversation over the weekend, so there it is. That's our winner. So I'm going to take this image, and we're going to go over to Photoshop, and we're going to do, how do we want to do this? First, we need a new, yeah, let's just do a new image that's the right size, because I want to chop me out of it. So that's the first thing that we'll need to do. So if you guys haven't used these tools before, there's a wonderful tool called the lasso tool, which will let me just do, actually that's not the one I want. I want the polygonal lasso tool. No, let's get out of that too. Okay, so what I want to do is basically just chop myself out of this. And to do that, you just do things like this. I worked at Abercrombie & Fitch for a while, and I sat right with the graphic designers that get the like raw pictures of the apparel and have to they have to chop all the images out so they can put them just on these nice stark white backgrounds. And so I learned they do a much more precise job than I'm doing here, but I think for the size of these graphics it's not going to matter much. So we'll just get this completely chopped, like so. We'll take that, and then we'll create a new 112. Let's see. No, that's not what I wanted. I was trying to read the chat while moving forward. New 112 by 112. Paste, edit, transform, scale. Again, these are all tricks from my web development days when I had to work with a bunch of very talented graphic designers. And I would say, hey, you know, I could do a lot of this stuff if you would just show me how. It seems like maybe the shirt needs to go. Maybe I just do the head. It seems like a lot of the emoticons in Twitch just are a head. Yeah, let's do that. So let me zoom into this. We'll use this magnetic lasso tool again, and we'll just start here. Copy that. delete everything, zoom back out, paste, and we'll resize it a little bit so it's bigger. That looks pretty good, right? So now I just need to save this as Bob Ross 112. And then we'll do some resizing to 56. Resize it one more time to 28. And the thing I don't know is like where these are used at different sizes. I don't know the answer to that question, but Bob Ross 28, save. And then we'll come in and we'll create the second one, which is Bob Ross 28, 56. 12. I don't know why that did that. Why is it off center? That's odd. So yeah, so we have those two now. And then the third one I was thinking we could do, and I have this image here. I'm sure you guys all have a folder on your computer called profile photos, which are just like random pictures you have of yourself. I know you actually don't. Karthik, it kind of is only for subscribers. Kind of. So it looks to me like we were talking about this earlier on the stream. If I go to if I just go to my channel, one of the options you have with the channel points that you get, which you earn just for watching, you can come in here and one of the options is unlock a random sub emote. And if you do this, I think that will allow you to grab those emotes by spending 320 channel points. That seems to be the only way that we can do it. I like this infinite video I've created here. But so let me create that third one, which is this face. And so let's zoom in on this a little bit and use my tool again. This time I'll just take the head. All 7 chins down there, we'll get them all. Being a little sloppy about this, but that's okay. Copy that. And then we need a new one, which is going to be 112 by 112, maybe. 112, okay. We'll shrink this down with a transform. I like using the transform because it preserves the resolution and everything. It looks good. I think this will look good on a dark background too. Ooh. Lord of Sound. The thing that I used was actually a template that I found on a website called Glitch, which is basically like creating free Lambda functions. And so I didn't have to really use much of anything. They had a built-in library for it. And it was really, really easy to do. It took me, I think I sat down and in 15 minutes I had the chatbot built with all the lights working. It was amazing. And what I was telling Jeff Nunn is that he and I are going to work on how do we do this for the Alexa channel so it can answer a bunch of questions for people. Even potentially when we're not streaming. So I was really, really impressed with Glitch. I'd never used it before. And it was surprisingly easy. But it is like a Lambda. So if my chatbot hasn't been used in a while, it goes to sleep. And you have to chat a few times before it wakes up. So let's try this. This one's going to be Viking 112. And then we'll do some image sizing. And this is going to be 56. Viking 56. Image size is 28. Export. And this is Viking 28. Okay. So now that I've done that, I think we have all three of our emotes created. 28. '56. I probably could write something that is pulling Lord of Sound, but then it's not real time. This is actually real time. It's event driven, and so the moment you type something, it's on it. There's no polling time or anything weird like that. I didn't say anything about an Alexa challenge, no. Did Jeff Nunn? This one's going to be called Viking. Save. Okay, so I don't know how this works exactly, but I would love for any of you that have enough points to try and see if you can unlock an emote. I don't know if that's actually possible. But those three emoticons now exist, and if you go to just down in the chat where the Blanken points are, where that little thing is, Lord of Sound has 6,500 points. That's amazing. Can you unlock one of the emoticons? What happens? I haven't actually done this before. They don't seem to be showing up yet. Okay. I don't actually know how it works because it didn't tell me like initially it said something about needing to be approved or something like that, but I don't know. I don't actually know what I'm doing when it comes to that stuff. So my thought is they may need to go through some kind of they may need to go through some kind of review process. I don't actually know how that actually works. Figurines, thank you. They're not dolls. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize it was IRC behind the scenes. Okay, should we write some code today? I feel like maybe we should write some code. Take you guys back to where we were this Friday. We have a bunch of stuff working, and one of the things that I don't have working is I need to update my Airtable. So this is one of those things where I'm going through the process of creating this content, but this is a very time-sensitive it's a very time-sensitive set of data. And so as I go into a game, I have these records. I'm going to copy that, paste it here, clear this field out, and now my skill should work. It wasn't working before. It was saying undefined because it didn't have any data for the April 18th game, which started on Saturday. So the thing with this is that I have to constantly stay ahead of my data. That's been a real trick for me. So I think now, if we flip over to my Alexa view, which some of you may not have seen before, whoa, that's not the Alexa view I want. I want this. There we go. Open scavenger hunt.
This is puzzle 2. What is your answer?
And there it is. There is my video. This might be loud.
What
Sorry,
is your
everybody.
answer?
Quit. So, yes, this is something, Lord of Sound, that was this was a benefit of being able to bring in the Fire TV stick, is that now I don't have to say that horrible word that was setting off all of your devices. So now I can use this with the Fire TV stick that we have on the screen so that I can control skills without having to trigger everybody's devices that are watching. So that's another really nice perk. You are right. I could use the ADB debugger as well. So there's lots of fun stuff happening here on the stream, but the cool thing about this is that I've got this all working as expected, which is super cool. Okay, so my skill is working. It showed the video, the APL, all that is working. So now it's just a matter of generating records, generating puzzles, and we're good there. So I feel like we're feeding the puzzles to people properly. The other thing that I should probably check, because I have the content in here, but I haven't done anything with it, is in the Give Next puzzle, there's two things that I haven't really done, which are when you come in here, I just sent the puzzle. This needs to be the one that says, so if there's no records, what do I do? You already won. So we should check and see if the already won happens. And then I need to think about the logic for what is the difference between I just won and I already won. And do I need different speech for those two things? So let's go add some records so that we have finished and completed the puzzle. So my user is going to be the same for all of these. The puzzle is going to be number 2. All of that got filled in. Cool. This is puzzle 3. This is puzzle 4. And of course, I don't even have answers in there, so I'm not going to bother like checking that the answer engine works. It should work. And then number 5. So now I have completed records for all 5 of the puzzles in that game. So it should say, hey, dude, you've already won the game. I need to change this. Another nice feature is like Excel. I can just do that. And boom, I fill in my records. And so me as the user, that's working great. So let's go back to this and see what it says now. Open scavenger hunt.
You've already beaten this week's game. Congratulations. Check back in next Saturday for a new challenge. What is your answer?
Stop. But it did say what is my answer,
Goodbye.
which I would not want it to do. So let's go fix that one little issue. Quit. We're going to have to take this and bring it up someplace else. Do I use answer query anywhere else? Is there a reason it was at the end? And then answer query here will be nothing. Sorry, Lord of Sound. What else would you like to do? And that's actually an action query. Do I have action queries set up in my speech yet? I do. I don't want that to be. What else? What else would you like to do? Where do I use action query? Do I use that anywhere? Looks like this is the only place that I actually call and get one. I don't know, what case is this? This case doesn't even really exist. Oh, thank you. I was looking at how I could get to action query, and I just got reminded by Golzulu that I'm not actually showing my code screen. Sorry about that. That's what happens when I look at my laptop instead of the screen in front of me here. Okay, so the thing that I was doing was figuring out what my action query would be here, and this is now going to be await get random speech action query locale. Okay, so we have that taken care of. So now we can tell the user that they've already won. I don't love how that's phrased. Can't get it to see the API. Yeah, W. Giorgio, I can talk about that. So the big things for me are this in your manifest. I don't know if you have that, but that's what allows you to call out to external APIs. That's just in the manifest down here at the bottom. I can copy that and throw it in chat for you. There you go. And then all I do here at the top is I bring in the Airtable SDK. And then where would be a good place to show where I actually do this? Like get random speech. So this is not using the SDK. This is actually just a raw call in. But I can show you my HTTP GET function. So I have this function, which again, this source code is available on my GitHub. But in here, I'm just passing in api.airtable.com with a path and the database name and the table. This is just a simple URL basically. And then I'm telling it what my API key is and any filter data that I want and that it's a GET method. And then I'm just returning a new promise with that HTTP request. That's it. Like there's not a lot there. When I'm making an actual call, like my get user record stuff here, I do something more like this. And well, let me grab this piece. This is me actually using their SDK. And so you can see in here I have Airtable. User is the name of my table. And I say create. And then I create a new record with this new user ID. And then it returns to me that record, which I return via this promise. And then I use that record to interact with my user. So I don't know if that entirely answers your questions, but that's more or less my process. Hopefully that helps. But all the source code is found here, so you should be able to take it apart and find it on my GitHub. All right, so there's a few other things that I really need to do in here. We have a lot of to-dos. In fact, I have 14 to-dos right now. These are all things that I've thought of but haven't done as we've been going through it. So there's a bunch of simple, like, low-hanging fruit stuff we could do. Let's try one of those. So allow users to change their phone number for when they say, like, change my phone number. So to do that, what we need is a new intent. That is the database ID. So here I can show you this. If you go to api.airtable.com. These are good questions, W. Giorgio. Thank you for asking them, because sometimes this just makes sense to me. So each one of these is considered a base in the Airtable world. And so I have two bases. I have data and I have speech. And so if I look at data, and we look at the JavaScript module that they have over here, for my game table, let's say we want to retrieve a record, you can see here that I have this base ID. And this base ID is the ID for the entire database. So this entire grouping of all of these tables. And then in here I say the name of the table. So I need this base ID, which I generally just grab from this API interface. And then I'm storing that in my Lambda environment variables so that I don't have to show them on screen with all of you. Now, it doesn't matter to me that you know the base ID, because without my API key, you can't access it anyway, so it's fine to show those things. But I wouldn't want to show my API key, which, again, W. Giorgio, if you click on this box, they'll fill your API key in for you, and you can literally copy and paste that code directly into your Lambda function, and it will work. So that's the beauty of this. Now, I'm obviously not going to check that box, but for you working off screen, that's a great place to go do that. But that's where that stuff comes from. And I wish they would support more languages here. It doesn't seem like it would be hard to provide a Python interface or a whatever, but if they only have an SDK available in Node, then I guess it makes sense why they're only doing it in JavaScript. Glad I could help. Okay, so let's come back to my code. And what I need to do, like I said, this is low-hanging fruit, but someone wants to change their phone number. Now, they could, the way the skill's built right now, you could just tell me your phone number and I'll automatically change it. You could just say 824-916-8421, right? And she'll be like, okay, I've got your phone number. I've just sent you a new validation pin. Like, that process works. But what's likely to happen is that a user's going to say, change my phone number. And what I need to do is give them instructions on how to do that. So this is a really simple, like, low-hanging fruit kind of thing. So I'm going to take this and we're going to say change phone number intent. I won't have any slots for this. And for my samples, they're going to be things like change my phone number. Change my mobile number. Some people might say update my number. What about update my mobile? And then we'll do like change my number. And like new phone number. Okay, you can see that I'm not being, by the way, WK Wyatt Jr., thank you for that. The cell phone is not something that, I mean, that's actually the word that I use, but I wasn't thinking of that for some reason. So that's really good and helpful. You'll see that I don't build out every permutation of everything, though. I'm relying on Alexa's NLU to be able to figure out, like, if you say new cell phone, I didn't write that as one of my samples, but it should still work. Nobody says telephone anymore. You're right. It feels like if somebody said change my telephone number, I probably should add that just as a case in case someone does. Change my telephone number. Because if they're trying to be formal about it, I can see that happening. I do that. I do that here. So this is just gonna, if I see here one of those things, I'm gonna say, okay, what is your new phone number? Like, that's the whole point of this entire intent. If they say their phone number, or they say my phone number is, or my mobile is, or whatever, that is already handled by my phone number intent. So I don't need to do that here, because I don't want to repeat that logic. This is more for when they say, like, hey, I want to change my number, expecting that there's some command or some menu that they need to get into. This is very, very common when people speak to things like Alexa. So all I'm trying to do is provide them a place where if they say this stuff, I give them some instructions. Because without this intent, if they say change my phone number, they're going to hit something like my fallback intent and not get the information that they want. And so it'll feel like I'm prompting them to give their phone number when realistically they could have just said it any time they wanted. So change, I could do that. Change my phone number to, and we'll see what kind of overlap I get on these two. This could crash and burn, who knows. So, and then we'll do change. No, I'm updating the right one. I'll explain in a second. Update my number to phone number. So, as I mentioned, I already have, Lily already did it again. I already have my phone number intent, which is when you tell me your phone number and I save it, and it automatically kicks off a workflow in which automatically then issues you a PIN, and you have to validate. Like, all of that stuff happens automatically if you say your phone number or say one of these things in this intent up here. This is how I want it to work. I want you to just be able to say your phone number and it goes. This intent is meant to be when someone doesn't think that they can just do that. They feel like they need a menu or an option, or they need to kick something off. And so they're going to say, like, change my phone number. And then Alexa's going to reply with, okay, what's your phone number? And that's literally all the intent does. I'm just prompting them to tell me what their phone number is. And so that's why these are two different intents, because otherwise then I've got to build a bunch of weird logic into my phone number intent to be able to say, oh, it's an optional value and they didn't give it to me, so now I need to prompt them, all that kind of stuff. So I have my change phone number intent. Let me save that. And then over here, I'm going to grab my help intent that I have all the time. It's nice and small and concise. This one. I love that you guys are messing with the light. I just, that was such a, like, it was just an idea I had one weekend, and it's really worked out. Lord of Sound, if you build it, if you make it idiot proof, they will build a better idiot. I totally agree. There's always going to be people that get it wrong, but I feel like if I can accommodate people that are just, like, they don't know what to say, they don't have any options. So I don't know that this is necessarily an idiot thing as much as it is like, can I say this? Can I do this? I don't know exactly how this works. They don't know how to think like a voice developer when they're using these, and so I want to make sure they're thinking like a human. And a human might try to tell their computer or their robot or whatever, like, hey, update my phone number, and then it should say, like, okay, what's your phone number? And that's all we're really doing here. So this is going to be change phone number intent. And then this is going to be change phone number intent. This will be the change phone number intent. And then my help message, this is literally the whole thing that the intent does is, okay, what is your phone number? And we'll do it just like that. So that's the entire, I gotta change this. This becomes change this. Change phone number intent handler. And then we'll need to register that down here at the bottom. This seems like a good place for it. So I have my change phone number intent handler. I have, if we come back up here and find it, literally that's the whole point of this intent though, is to just say, okay, what is your phone number? I could even say like, what is your new phone number? Because I don't say new. So we'll do that. And that that will prompt them for their new phone number. So I think we're good. Let me publish this just to see where we're at. We'll have to publish both the model and the code, so it'll take a little longer than normal. But we will get there. In the meantime, I love these trends where everybody just starts hammering it with colors. I don't know what to do. I noticed W. Giorgio, I noticed your colors didn't happen when you said yellow-green. I wonder why that was. It should have still turned it to yellow, I would think. Or maybe to green. It depends on the order of the if statement that I wrote. Do you think it's possible to get the blink to turn green? Karthik, what do you mean by that? Is blink like a specific brand of light bulb or something? It looks like my thing is deployed, so let's try this real quick. Open scavenger hunt. Open scavenger hunt.
Fallback intent.
Fallback intent. Stop.
Goodbye.
Open scavenger hunt.
Fallback intent.
Change my phone number.
Okay. What is your new phone number?
Awesome. Smart, Lord of Sound. I like it.
Okay. What is your new phone number?
Okay, so that works. So Karthik has a question about Blink. I've never seen this before, but this is kind of cool. It's just a USB light. I want one of these. Oh, it works with if this then that. Then yes, it totally works. Yeah, Karthik, you should be able to do this no problem. I can show you actually really quickly how to do it. And it makes me want to get some of those lights. I wonder if those are available in the United States too? How much are they? $30. Okay. $30 seems like a lot, but all right, let's take a look. So the way that I do this, Karthik, the way that my light is working, Lord of Sound, you can still change it. It still works with Alexa. So if you want to use your Alexa device, no one will know who changed the color. Yeah, violet doesn't work, unfortunately, Cocktails Guy. I wish that it did, but the way that, well, I guess I can just show this. So if I choose Explore and I make a new applet from scratch, the way that I do this is this part, first of all, it's not $70,000. But $30 for a light seems like a lot. I won't pay more than like $12 for one of these. And I keep forgetting to flip over. So I'm at if this then that. I click the explore button. And you have make your own applets from scratch. I'm going to click on that. And then on the thing that I want is webhooks. This is where I can set up a unique URL where if that URL gets hit, I want to do something. And so this is just what I'm giving it a name. So I'm going to call this, I don't remember what I called my other ones. Do I? Maybe I do. Alexa lamp violet. Because I think Cocktails guy was asking for this.
I don't know that.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to create my trigger. And then if this, then I have to do another thing. So in this case, Karthik, for you, you're going to use so if I look at blink, you can see that blink is right here, this orange one. Now I don't have one of those. What I have is a LifeX bulb. So I'm going to choose LifeX, but you do the exact same thing that I'm doing here, just with blink. And I want to change the color of the lights. And I want to choose just the Office LifeX bulb. I want the color to change. And see, this is why I'm hard-coded. These are the options that I have available to me. I can't pass in custom values. Even with the advanced options here, it didn't work. I went through that process. And you can see that there's no violet. So I'll do a pastel purple for your violet. Brightness, I want it to always go to 100%, and if it's not on, then I want it to turn on. And I want it to happen instantly, but we could have a delay on these things if we want, but I'm going to say instant. And then this advanced option stuff didn't work as much as I really wanted it to. So I create this action. Maybe. Okay. I created my action, and now I have this webhook thing. So I'm going to finish, and it's all set up and ready to go. So now I can come back to this, and I can add violet. So we'll take the purple one and add an else that is violet, change to violet. And just like that, oh, no, I gotta change this to violet. That's my custom function that actually changes the thing. So, it seems to me now that if we type violet into the box, lamp has been changed to violet, and it's different than purple. Purple. Yeah, purple's a little richer. So now we have violet and we have purple. So what, like I said, that wasn't very hard to do, Karthik. That's all I really needed to do. But you would do the exact same thing. So it's just a matter of using some webhooks. They give you a custom URL, which I'm not showing you on the screen because you guys will automate. Once I've made that call, then I can call directly in and hit that URL, and it triggers the thing that I wanted to trigger. Very, very simple and easy to do. So that's what I would do with the blink thing. The real question that we haven't answered is, how much do I need one of these? Karthik, tell me, do I need one of these? And what would I do with it? I'm imagining that I could set up like a... Actually, I have one. I could set up like a little USB hub like this and get like 7 of them. Now, that's an outrageous amount of money to spend, but let's say that I got 7 of them, right? And so I take this and I drop it like here. And so they'd be little lights sticking up out of each one of these. And then I could build some commands into the chatbot and potentially into the Alexa skill to let you change each one individually. And so you guys could all just change each of the individual lights. There's 8 on this thing. Karthik says, I have one in the Seattle office waiting for me. That's super awesome. This is a Hutu. That is the brand. Let's see if I can get my face out of that frame. I bought this off of Amazon. It's a lovely USB 3 hub. Works really well. It's powered, so there's a power port on the top. But yeah, I like this one, and this is available on Amazon. It's an 8-port USB 3 hub. Karthik, you still owe me a mailing address, so let me know when you have an opportunity to pull that together too, because I do have things for you. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to buy one, but I'll wait until I can get that one from Seattle, and then I'll hook that up here. Another thing that I really want to do... this I think I can... Here, let me just bring it up on screen. If I go to all departments... No, not Audible. 8-port USB 3 hub. You can see there's a number of them. I don't even know if the... Wow, look at that guy. That's a lot of ports. I don't even see this one sold anymore. It looks like Atola might be the new version of that, which is the one that... Who said Atola? Lord of Sound said that. So this one looks similar. It's not the same, but it's similar. And this is about the price I probably paid for it. Yeah, that's my fear, Lord of Sound, is that you guys are going to automate against my Twitch chat, which is great because I'll have tons of conversation happening in my Twitch chat, but the light will go crazy. So that, you know, that's actually the thing that I should look at. I should go backwards on this. So if I do explore, I wonder if there's the thing that I really want is like some robotics pieces that I can just like have a sign pop up or something like that. I don't know what most of these things are though. What is LA metric? Oh, that's pretty cool. What if I don't want it to be a clock? What if I just want like a pixelated display like that? 200. Goodness. That's pretty awesome. Oh my gosh, that would be pretty cool if I could throw my Twitch followers up there. This is pretty awesome. It seems expensive, but oh, they have a bunch of other cool stuff too. Fred, we talked about that, but I feel like if somebody says I went to the store and I bought oranges, I still want it to flip. But you're right. I could do a regex to like exclude things, but I think it's more fun to have it change. So I'm less worried about that right now. I'm gonna have to do more of that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna talk with Jeff Nunn about how we can build a better engine for not only this but for the Alexa channel. So Jeff and I are going to talk later today, hopefully. But that's this was my 15-minute effort. It did not take me very long at all to set up this the way that it is today. So I have more to figure out, more to understand. I've never built a chatbot before. The difference between something between a chatbot and Alexa is that with Alexa, I have an entire NLU engine for me. And so as we look at my code, right, I can build an intent that has, I'm already interpreting all of this stuff. I have an NLU engine that's going to use this training data to figure out exactly what the user meant and then make sure that it does the right thing. The chatbot doesn't have that luxury. All it's doing is looking at what did you type, and then I have to try to interpret that, which is much, much harder because I just don't have the same kind of information, right? I have to build an engine that understands all the speech. So that is something that I'm going to have to do. But I just got rid of a to-do, which was the change phone number intent. You guys have me all over the place today, which I love. Let's see, change my phone number. This one's gone. So the next one, give the user an option to send another PIN if they don't have it. This feels like a confirmation. Yeah, Lord of Sound, I might be able to do that. I'm just saying that with Glitch, the way that I set it up, I don't know what's happening with Glitch behind the scenes to understand how often it's paying attention or how it's subscribed or whatever. The Funko stock price, $3.74, huh? What is there, like 1 year? Oh, it's way down. That's very interesting. I wonder why that is. That feels like a thing I should buy. Because when Baby Yoda comes out, their stock price has to go up. Interesting. I might be in the market for some stock. Never thought to buy stock in them, but they seem to be doing well. What's their market cap? 185 million? Maybe I'll just buy the company. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so the other thing I was thinking about is unsubscribing. This one here feels like I need to confirm with the user. So they're going to say, stop sending me messages or quit or whatever. The other Jeff B could do it all day. All day. Multiple times. And not even feel it. Like it wouldn't affect anything about his life in any way whatsoever. It's a remarkable amount of money. And not a situation that I find myself in. Okay, give the user a way to unsubscribe and turn their phone number off. Okay, let's think about that. So we're going to have... We have my change phone number intent. We're going to do this for... we'll call it unsubscribe. Unsubscribe intent. And this is going to be a bunch of random stuff like... Forget my phone number. Stop sending me messages. Thank you, Karthik. Thank you for stopping by. I'm gonna have to buy some Funko stock, I think. I mean, let's look at it this way. If we're gonna talk about stock for a moment. This stock is $3.75 a share, and the company's doing well. I mean, they're selling toys everywhere, and they keep expanding and broadening their offerings. And their previous one-year high is $25. So if I bought 100 shares, heck, if I bought 1,000 shares, let's call it $4 even, if it got back to its high of $25, that's 6 times my money. I like that. I would like to go 6x on my money. I don't know how to set the from range in my code, but I I know how to set the from range in my code. TradeLess, what are you talking about? The from and to? I don't know that I can do that character in the voice. Like, that was very on the spot. I was like, I should probably do a little bit. 15 minutes before I had... yeah, by the way, I know nothing about stock trading, so don't take any of my advice, please. Let's see. TradeLess says the other Jeff B could do that cheaper than Funko. See the next line. Oh, I see. You were changing it to orange. I see. How about making Alexa a stocks and shares advisor? That seems very dangerous. People get really angry when you give them advice and they lose money because of it. So I don't know that I necessarily recommend that. That's why I like to just write code. You guys generally don't get mad at me for the code I write. Remove my phone number. Forget my mobile number. Lose. This is kind of a reach, but lose my telephone number. Stop messaging me. Stop playing the game. That's tricky. I don't want to compete with my stop intent, which is stop the game. When you talk about buying a stock, the light turns green. When you talk about shorting it, it turns red. What a streaming gimmick. Yeah. Alexa knows AI and ML. Applying that to wealth management. I mean, I'm sure someone's doing that. There's probably a lot of really sophisticated AI going on in automated trading circles, but not me, man. I don't have that kind of money to play with. So we have an unsubscribe intent. Now we need to... this is going to be a two-stepper, I think. So where'd my help intent go? So this is going to be my first step here. I already forgot what I called it. Unsubscribe intent. This is going to be unsubscribe intent handler. This is going to be the unsubscribe intent. Unsubscribe. My dog loves the front door. I don't know if you guys can actually hear that, but she's losing her mind right now. And this is what I'm gonna do is kick the user to a yes/no choice, so that I'm confirming their request. So they're gonna say something like, "Forget my phone number. Stop messaging me." And I'm going to hit this intent, and I'm going to say, okay, you want to remove your phone number in order to play this game. You will need to can do this for you, but you won't be able to play this game until you won't be able to play this game anymore until you won't be able to play this game anymore. Is that okay? So what I've done here is I've said, okay, you want me to get rid of your phone number. Totally fine. But you won't be able to play this game because I require your phone number to do this. So once you have me remove your phone number, the next time you come back to the skill, it's going to say, I need your phone number, or you can't play. I'll still have your user records. I'll still have all your history. All that will be saved. But I won't have the ability. Like, I'm actually going to delete your phone number from my database, so I won't know it anymore. So I'm going to say, is that okay? So what I'm doing here, and this is where my previous action becomes really handy in storing this all the time, is that now I'm going to have a yes/no intent that's generic, and I'm going to check this previous action value to determine what I'm going to say to the user. So let's save this, come back here, and we're going to create a Amazon yes/no intent. So there's an Amazon yes and an Amazon no, but we'll kind of combine them. Amazon yes intent and an Amazon no intent. And so those are there. And so then for this, I'll take my help intent handler again. This is going to be yes/no intent handler. I do this quite often for yes/no questions because this is easier than having to check a bunch of other conditions or not be sure what the user actually wanted to do. So this is going to be yes intent, but I also want this to be or. I want to put another parentheses here, and then I want to put one here, and then I want to put this here, and then everything should be happy, and it doesn't look happy. Why isn't it happy? Because I need another one there. Boom. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I'm saying if it's a yes or it's a no intent, we're going to do something. And it's nice to be able to just manage this in here because otherwise we have to do this all over the place, and I don't like spreading that functionality out. So this is after I've asked them the question. They say yes or no, and I need to know what their previous action was. So I actually don't want to reset this. What I'm instead going to do is do a switch on the previous action. And in here, why do I do that? It's a new typing bug that I haven't had before. So in here, I'm switching on session attributes. I'm going to say case. This one's going to be, what did I call it? Unsubscribe intent. And inside this, I'm going to have how do I want to do this? Do I just want to build? I also have to have a yes and no. If this needs to be a var, this needs to be nothing, I can say right here, speak output. This is no. No, actually, this is going to be... If I get to this point and they say no, I'm just going to push them to the puzzle. So give next puzzle. Handler. Input. Is that all I call for that? Give next puzzle, and I need to return it. So let's find that function again. Return give next puzzle. Like so. Okay, so that's if they say no. I'm just going to kick them to the puzzle. Otherwise, I'm going to do the thing that requires more work, which is else. And I do this somewhere. How many different places do I call update user record? WK White, I think you're probably right. There's 4 times that I call that. What is this one? Pin validation. I think this is all I need to do is just update the user record with no data. So let me take those, and we'll take, where is, no, here. I don't need this one. No, if they say yes, I don't want to return launch request handler. I just want it to quit. So what I could actually do is return my cancel help stop, my cancel stop, where it just says goodbye. Return dot handle handler input, like so, and then this could go away because I'll never get to it. No, I guess I probably should leave it here. Let's do this in a more official way. Return error handler. I don't think it's going to like that, but because error handler is a little bit different. And it looks for this error.stack, which would just be null. I guess that's okay. Okay, so we have my, don't need this at all now. I love deleting code. And then I'm set up for additional conditions. Let's do this instead. So we never ever miss on the switch statement. Thanks for coming, WK Wyatt. Good to have you here. So we'll do like that. And then I need to take these intent handlers and add them to my manifest because I don't have them there now. And the other one was unsubscribe. Lure to sound, very nice. Funny jokes. Okay, so we're probably should test that, huh? What do you guys think about testing? So we'll deploy the whole thing again. We're coming up on time already? I feel like I just started. Pushing my model still. This would be good though. I got 2 of my big to-dos off of my list. I built some mechanisms for handling the yes and no situations, which there aren't a lot of right now. Come on, let's go. My emotes to show up. Okay, our code has been deployed. Let's see if I can delete my phone number, which is not here, here, and then here, and then data, and then user. So you can see my phone number is here. So let's see what happens. Open scavenger hunt.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Oh boy. Bugs. Oh my gosh. We just got raided. That is super cool. So we're in the process of building an Alexa skill, but oh my gosh. We are currently working on a goal to get up to 500 subscribers. So if any of you want to drop the follow button for me, it would be greatly appreciated. You get your name on the screen. Another thing you might give a try, for those of you that are rating, is that I have a light bulb here behind me. You can see that it's currently white. If you type the name of a color, it will change the lamp to that color for you. So let's see if we can get somebody to change that color. I am part of the live coders, if you guys didn't know that. There we go. So we've got some colors coming in. I don't know why the light's not actually changing. Maybe too many requests at once. There we go. Purple and then blue. Yeah, we're about to get color tsunami'd, but you guys can see that the lamp is changing behind me. Black doesn't work. It has to be a color of the rainbow. You can also use cyan, white, or pink. It's unfortunately hard-coded for this light bulb, so I have to pick from a limited set of colors. I'm working on expanding it, but you guys should be able to mess with the light, so thank you guys for being here. Lots of new followers. This is super, super cool. And if you guys don't mind giving me a follow, you'll get your name on the screen. So the thing that we're doing right now is building an Alexa skill that is a big puzzle. And I'm trying to get the user to give me their phone number, and then I have to give them an option to be able to remove their phone number from my database just with their voice. So I'm in the process right now of doing this thing. And the thing that we needed to do was talk to our actual skill. So I'll do it here with this device instead. Alexa, open scavenger hunt. And I think this is where we just introduced a bug.
There was a problem with the requested skills response.
Nice. Thank you guys all for joining me here. I'm here every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern to noon. And I'd love to have you. We do lots of development, lots of skill building. I'm sure some of the regulars that are here can share with you what we're up to. But I really appreciate you all joining me. And the follows are greatly appreciated. So it's 46, 54. That's not the right one. Let's give it a try and see what our... Oh, it's usually something dumb like that. So if we look at my records here for those new handlers I just created, I have an await right here, but I didn't make this async. That's all. It always catches that for me. So let's come back here and change this back to just deploying my Lambda. Thank you guys all for coming. We only have a few minutes left here, but all the new followers are greatly, greatly appreciated. And we're putting together some crazy goals for what we should do when we get to 500, which is still a ways away, but you guys are helping us get there for sure. The yellow light is back on. Pixel Logic, Aqua doesn't work, but Cyan does work. I'll have to add Aqua as an option, like a synonym for that color. Okay, my Lambda code is pushed. Alexa, Open scavenger hunt. Kevin Evans, thank you.
This week's game. Congratulations. Check back in next Saturday for a new challenge. What else would like to do?
Change my phone number.
Okay. What is your new phone number?
614-999-9999.
I just sent a message with a 4-digit PIN to validate your mobile phone number. What is that PIN?
2711.
Undefined, you've already beaten this week's game.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Check back in next Saturday for a new challenge. What else would like to do?
Forget my phone number.
Okay. You want to remove your phone number. I can do this for you, but you won't be able to play this game anymore. Is that okay?
Yes.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm definitely missing the U. It didn't erase my phone number though. That's interesting. I'll have to tweak that. But it did mark me as is validated is off. So I need to tweak that logic a little bit. So let me do this one more time. So blended software, this is Airtable. I'm using this as the behind the scenes data for an Alexa skill. And I'm building an Alexa scavenger hunt where you're presented with puzzles and then you have to guess. No, I'm not actually using Dynamo. In fact,
You've already beaten this week's game.
Alexa,
Congratulations.
quit. I'm actually using Dynamo sometimes, but for most of my skills, I tend to use Airtable primarily because the API is easier, the data structure is easier. It's a nice hybrid between document databases and like relational SQL databases, where I can kind of merge the two together. And I can create a flat database like this, where I have all the data I need. I have the game date, the order the question should be presented, that kind of stuff. But all this actually is brought in by making a relationship. So if I get rid of this puzzle, you can see that game date and order go away. Those are actually properties of the puzzle table. And so if I bring this back in, those fields fill back in, but those are actually part of my puzzle table, which has the real data. And some of this is funneled down all the way where this is active is actually part of a game table, which is here. And I have a bunch of logic built into the database also to say, oh, like this is the current game because of this thing, whatever. I really like Airtable for these purposes. Lord of Sound. Really good jokes today. So that is what I'm doing. I need to make sure that I go back to my code and say here, this doesn't currently delete their phone number. And then the other thing that I wanted to do was see what happens when they say no, they don't want to quit. I should kick them right back to a puzzle. So let's save that and push that code up, and we'll see what we get this time. Because I revalidated myself, so if we come to user, I have the is validated box checked. Our code has been pushed. Alexa, open scavenger hunt.
You've already beaten this week's game. Congratulations. Check back in next Saturday for a new challenge. What else would like to do?
Forget my phone number.
Okay. You want to remove your phone number. I can do this for you, but you won't be able to play this game anymore. Is that okay?
No.
Undefined, you've already beaten this week's game. Congratulations.
Okay,
Check
so
back in next Saturday.
one more thing I need to do is
What else would like to do?
give next puzzle is getting an undefined.
Fallback intent.
So
Fallback intent.
Shut up.
Goodbye.
In here somewhere. I'm gonna have to dig in deeper to that. But we have a couple of small issues, but I can take this one away as well, which is turn their phone number off. I've mostly done that now. I have one little tweak I have to make to that. But we're getting rid of tasks. This is super good. So I was not expecting that here at the end, but One Pocket Pimp, Death Knight, we've got a blended software. We've got some new folks here on the channel. Just so you guys all know, we are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 a.m. to noon. And it's primarily focused on voice design, Alexa development, but it varies greatly. In fact, I built a chatbot over this weekend just to be able to handle requests here on Twitch. And so you can say the name of a color and the light bulb behind me will change to that color. I can show you that here. If I go to say purple, boom, purple. And so that's how the chatbot works. It's only for Jeff Nunn. I'm going to have to expand this, but it only works with the colors of the rainbow, and then additionally cyan, pink, and white. But yeah, all of those seem to be working pretty well. I'll just get out of the way. You guys can change some lights. But yeah, I'm gonna have to expand on this functionality. I'm not sure how I would handle multiple requests. You'd have to indicate which light you want to change. But this has been kind of a fun little project. There's also an Alexa skill with my name, and in that skill you can tell it to change the color with your voice. So you can say, ask Jeff Blankenburg to change the lamp to red, and it will do it. So this is awesome how much you guys can change this. It also does them in rainbow order, so if you say red and blue in the same command, it will choose red. But that's just the nature of an if statement. I haven't figured out a way to parse them out or do them separately or anything like that yet, but we'll get there. We will get there. Okay, so we're at time for today. Yeah, it does actually let you check the stream delay. What is the stream delay, by the way? I'm trying to keep it pretty close to normal. But Kevin Evans, thank you for being here, man. I'm looking forward to having you here as well. We have a bunch of regulars, and it's always nice to have new voices in the chat too. Lord of Sound, can you tell me what the delay is? Always interested to know. Last Trip is following. Thank you for that. This is great to have all these new folks. Six seconds. Okay, that's about as good as I think I can expect, because they do a lot of processing on their side, but I wish it was faster, but 6 seconds is pretty good. All right. Well, with that, I think I'm going to wrap up for today. This has been a super awesome end to our session. And I think for Wednesday, we need to start our session figuring out what I'm going to do when we get to 500 followers. For those of you that are new here, on Friday, we got past 250 followers, and I promised that I would wear a Bob Ross wig for the entirety of the session, and I did. So if you want to tune in and check my video from Friday, the beginning is pretty fun. And we got to figure out what I'm going to do for 500. So we'll discuss that in the chat next Friday. One Pocket Pimp, you can watch the entire episode. Just click on videos at the top of my page, and it should be the most recent video that's there. So you can definitely tune in and see the Bob Ross moment. But I start just like Bob Ross, same voice. I have a paintbrush and a palette and a canvas, and it's a riot. So I'm glad you guys enjoy this stuff. I'm really glad to be doing this. Thank you guys all for being here, and I will see you all on Wednesday.